Okay, good morning. My name is Dan Morter. I oversee the engineering management program at University of Colorado Boulder, and we're excited to be here to have the opportunity to tell you about this program and what it can do for you. For those of you who are watching via the software program Zoom, we believe we've sent a message to you. If you have questions throughout this webinar, please send them via chat, and there are some fine people in the room here who will take your question, relay them to me, and then I'll be able to answer your questions during the presentation. So there's no need to wait till the end. Just please send your questions. They'll relay them to me, and I'll be happy to share them with you. So thank you for your attendance this morning. I think you'll find this to be very valuable. We're going to have a good time. I've got a good number of stories to tell you about my experiences with our students during the time that I've been director and the value that they have discovered being part of this program. For many of you, I think this may be professionally the most valuable half hour that you will ever spend. The value that we give to our graduates is, in their words, inestimable. And they have found that the leadership and management knowledge that they gain in our program helps them in their careers, helps them leading their teams, and helps them to excel past their contemporaries, leading to better salaries and greater job satisfaction. So we're excited to be here this morning. I expect that we'll be together maybe 30, 40 minutes. And like I say, if you have questions, please jump in at any time. On your screen, you see an aerial view of the University of Colorado at Boulder. It is an incredibly beautiful place. Today we have snow on the ground, and the sun is shining. So it's, if anything could be more beautiful than that picture, that's what we're experiencing today. For those of you who do in the future have the opportunity to attend our program here, it's quite an experience and quite a great place to be. Today I'll be speaking, and I'll provide a little bit of background on myself. Also pictured on this screen is Ms. Kendra Tebow. She handles all of our admissions and is our graduate and undergraduate advisor. We run about 2,000 students through our program each year, about 1,000 graduate students and 1,000 undergraduates. So it's a fair-sized program. And people are finding across the nation that this is the place to be. Our enrollment continues to grow in both phases. For myself, I graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1978. And spent a career in the military, culminating with time in Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm in the early 1990s. Many years after that, I transitioned from the military into science and technology, my first love. I came here to CU to work on a doctorate and worked at the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics. I left here in 2000 with a doctorate in aerospace engineering and with a specialty area of space physics. After that, I checked in at my first job in a high-tech company. And it was there that I realized that all of the great technical knowledge that I had was insufficient for me to excel in that role. The reason was I didn't have the necessary knowledge in areas like project management, systems engineering, finance and accounting, statistics, entrepreneurship, other areas of commercialization like product development, and rather esoteric areas like customer relations and submitting proposals, writing and submitting proposals. Because industry and business is all about just that, all about business. And so my technical experience and my other experience in my life did not prepare me for that. I find that many of our students nowadays have realized the same thing, that they need a better background in management skills and in leadership expertise. And so this program really fills that gap in many people's background. So I served in industry for a career there, left industry, began 2 small companies. One, another high-tech organization focused on underwater communication and positioning, an area that the Department of Defense found very interesting. And then another company later, both of these financially successful, another company later in helping people to commercialize their ideas, where we commercialized products as diverse as sportswear and new ideas for satellites. So very interesting jobs there. I was lucky enough to be picked up as faculty here and now have the opportunity to enjoy the best job of my life, which is passing on knowledge and experience from 45 years in leadership positions. And so I personally am very excited to be here to talk with you. So we're at the College of Engineering and Applied Science at the University of Colorado at Boulder. In a recent meeting, and just to share with you a quick story, in a recent meeting with our new dean, Bobby Braun, who is former chief technologist for NASA, Bobby wanted to express his strong support for our program and how he believes it's important that our students from all backgrounds, be they university staff or persons serving in high-tech organizations, master's degree students and the like, people coming from the Department of Defense, how important it is that as they gain their technical expertise, that they also gain a background in leadership and management, so that when they transition into business and industry, as 60 to 70% of our students do, they'll be prepared for the environment that they're entering. What is engineering management? So I mentioned to you my story about transitioning from my technical work here on my doctorate into engineering management, and why that is important. But engineering management holds a unique position. As a department, it's been in place for about 100 years now, when there was a recognized need for engineers to have also a background in business, not necessarily an MBA, but to have the knowledge in areas that I've described, and as I've said, project management, systems engineering, leadership, and many other areas. So companies, when they're looking for graduates from the College of Engineering, are looking for 2 things. They're looking for that strong technical background, and they're also looking for some sort of experience in working with people and how to lead teams. And so engineering management fills that gap and provides a capstone, if you will, that helps our students transition into business and industry. So we have why engineering management? I was recently speaking with one of our alumni who described an experience that describes perfectly why what we have is exceptionally important. This individual was working in a local company, and he had a direct report of one. That is, he had supervisory responsibility for just himself. He came in one day. The previous project manager had been removed from their job, and he was then made the project manager. He now had 40 direct reports. And so his question and his experience that he relayed to me was, what was I supposed to do? How was I supposed to take over that team? What skills did I need? How was I supposed to kick off my operation, as well as maintain the operations of the project? And so what he relayed to me was that his knowledge from our program helped him to take over that team within a matter of days, improve its operations, correct the issues that the previous project manager had, and was recognized then by his vice president as being quite exceptional and turning that project around very quickly. Engineering management at CU Boulder. There are engineering management programs across the nation. We pride ourselves here at CU on three things. The first is the depth of our course offerings. We have a broad array of courses running from project management and commercialization to leadership, and a depth of courses in each of those areas that allows one to specialize. Secondly, the ease of taking our courses. Our courses are designed for the working professional, so that if you are working during the day and you're worried about taking time off for classes, it's an unnecessary worry. Our classes are offered in the evenings. In fact, all of our graduate courses are offered in the evenings that allow you to put in a full work day and then attend classes at your leisure at night. And if that is difficult, or if you have work travel, there's the opportunity to view classes remotely by video and attend class, as many of our students do, by watching the videos, communicating with the instructors by email, and then taking their exams and their requirements at the same time as their contemporaries in class by taking the exams online. So it's designed for ease of education. And lastly, I would mention our faculty, and I would say probably that this is the most important. The faculty that we hire into our program are industry professionals. That is, we want for you as a student to have not only the theory, but also the application. What will you experience graduating from our program and entering industry? And so our courses are about 50% theory and 50% the instructor's experience, helping you to be prepared for transition into business and industry, or if you're already there, as many of our students say, I get skills daily in class that I can apply immediately to my job and to improve the performance of my team. So all of our faculty have management experience in industry, many of them with executive level experience, and of those, many with CEO experience, those who have experienced the entire gamut of leadership responsibility in business and industry. So we're very proud of our faculty, and one thing is for sure, for a student attending engineering management at CU Boulder, they'll get the skills that they need and the education that they need to either improve their job performance immediately or to be prepared for transition into business and industry. Why is engineering management for you? This is what I would say. First, the focus here is on becoming a great leader and manager. We want you to provide to the teams that you lead an excellent work environment, a solid leadership climate, and to have the management skills that you need to help your organization run smoothly. So to become a great leader is the first reason why I think engineering management is important. And I use the word great specifically, not just to become a leader, but to become a great leader, someone who stands out, someone who is recognized not only by their chain of command, but also by their team and by their customers as being an outstanding leader of people. Secondly, and I know this is important, is salary. And our graduates, because of their degree here, are a step up in salary from their contemporaries. Not only that, but our degree or our certificates that we offer go on to one's transcript and then are recognized by employers as important facets of that individual's background, and that in turn is recognized in salary. And lastly, I would tell you one story about a current student of ours, a gentleman who works at a local large high-tech company who stopped by to speak with me the other day about finishing up his program here. And he made a statement to me that I find is exceptionally interesting. He said that the skills that he uses as a manufacturing lead at his company, they weren't the technical skills that he learned here, although they are valuable, and they help him to ask the right questions of his team to make sure that things are running smoothly. But the skills that he uses on a daily basis are the skills that he learned in this program, in engineering management, which is an interesting story and an interesting reflection of my own experience when I left the university in 2000. He uses his engineering management skills more than the other skills that he's gained over time. And that, I think, is an excellent statement of what our program is about. Our students. So if one were to attend our program, who are you going to be sitting next to? And what skills will they have? First, I would state we have a quite rigorous entry requirement process. And so we're only letting in the best of the applicants that we have. So you will be sitting next to people who are high quality and are experienced in their various specialty areas and have a lot to say about what they're learning here. As an example, in one of my classes, I had an engineer from a local software company, engineer manager from a local software company. Also attending was an Army officer currently serving in Kuwait, a CEO of a design and manufacturing company, several members of our university staff, master's students from across the campus, and finally, a United Nations employee serving as a manager in Sudan. And all of those in one class. And that, I think, gives an idea of the diversity that one would experience both in classes, both in positions that these people hold, and the valuable knowledge that they share in our classes. So here's an important point. The learning process that we have in our classes for leadership and management is not only the knowledge that our instructors and their executive experience bring to the classroom. It's also the students that you're sitting next to in the classroom who relay their experiences, and then that is tied in to our classes. And so it provides a very diverse background for discussion in both leadership and management. And I think that probably is an incredibly valuable aspect of our program. These are companies from which our students come, and as well, we get students from local business attending, and from our university staff, and from others across the nation working at organizations beyond these. Here is a quote from one of our students from one of these companies. I'll let you take a look at that. Irene is currently a student in my engineering communication class. And in that class, we work to help our graduates excel in all facets of communication, from social media and email to writing skills to speaking skills and presentation skills, so that when you check in at your position in business and industry, you have the skills to be recognized immediately as an excellent communicator. So here's what we offer. In our graduate program, we offer a Master's of Engineering in Engineering Management, recognized by local business and industry and business and industry across the nation as an excellent asset on one's resume. For students who are currently enrolled in engineering departments, we have dual degrees with 4 departments that you can see there, and we offer certificates in a variety of areas. An important point that either the certificate or the Masters of Engineering, both of those, including the certificates, appear on one's transcript, and they're there when you interview for your next position in business and industry. Our degree requirements, we require 10 courses, 5 are required and 5 are elective. I'll talk to those in just a minute. For those seeking 2 degrees at once, that is a technical degree and a degree in engineering management, we have just an amazing opportunity here for those who want to go that route. With 7 courses in engineering management and 8 courses in a technical degree, one ends up with 2 degrees with only 15 courses instead of 20. It saves money, it saves time, and it has an incredible impact when you're interviewing. Take it from me, someone who's participated in many hiring events at high-tech organizations. There are many who show up with technical education background, and they're all excellent students, and they all have an opportunity to excel wherever they're hired. But as a hiring manager, one is always looking for a differentiator, something that separates you from the 50 or 100 resumes I may have on my desk. And I would tell you that for someone who understands, as I said at the beginning, who understands how to work with people and understands leadership and understands how to lead themselves and the other management skills that we have in our program, either by certificate or by degree, that makes all the difference in the world. And that resume goes in a separate stack for special consideration, because we know that individual already understands what it means to be part of a team. And so the idea of a dual degree makes all the sense in the world to me. Here are the 5 required courses. I would point out just a few. In leading oneself, we have a committee of leading professionals from our local business and industry. They're called the Engineering Advisory Council. And what they have said to us is that we want to hire individuals for management positions who understand how to lead themselves. And although this may sound unusual, it's their belief and our belief that an individual should know how to lead oneself before we send them out to lead others. And so leading oneself is one of our core courses. Engineering communication, I described just a moment ago. And there are other core competencies that we want our graduates to have in finance and accounting and in project management or systems engineering, so that when one arrives at a high-tech company, you've got the skills to understand the organizations in which you're operating. And many of our graduates go directly into a project or program upon arrival. And so we want them to understand the environment that they're going into. Here are some of our electives. The electives allow our graduates to focus, our students to focus in certain areas. I would bring your attention to the second item there, ethical decision making. That's another area that our advisory group tells us is important. They want leaders and managers who understand ethics. Most people arrive with a general understanding of what ethics is, but we delve into it a bit more so that you have an understanding of how that relates to the business environment in which you'll find yourself. These are the specialty areas in which one may specialize. I would point out a few notes on each one. Research methods in the bottom left as you're looking at your screen. is about decision making, using statistics to find and data to find solutions to issues within your project or within your business. Quality Sciences offers certificates in Six Sigma, which is the current means by which companies manage the quality that they provide to their customers. Project management at the top of the screen is about organizing and running a complex operation. Leadership is about taking over and leading a team or project, and commercialization includes areas such as product development, entrepreneurship, and areas such as that. Certificates. We mentioned the degree program, and I touched on certificates briefly. The slide here contains the information that you need. I would point out that many of our university staff and students are taking advantage of the Leadership and Management Certificate. It's a relatively recent addition to our program, and it allows one to focus heavily on leadership and the fundamental skills that one needs to operate a team effectively. So, admissions deadlines. You can see what they are there. I would tell you that Kendra Tebow, Ms. Kendra Tebow, who I introduced at the beginning of our discussion, can provide you far more information than I can here on this. I would note that for the fall, March 1st is our deadline, and for the spring, September 15th is our deadline, and an email address is shown there to gather more information. If one is pursuing a dual degree, the deadlines vary by department, but Kendra can assist you with that and getting the education that you'd want to get. Tuition is always a question for us, and so you can see the numbers there under tuition for both in-state and out-of-state. I would tell you that what we hear from employers is that they find these rates a real bargain. For those who are getting tuition assistance from employers, they find it a bargain because of what they get in return. They get a leader or manager who understands what leadership is, and they get someone who actually knows their job as a manager. And so many employers find, in fact, all of them find these rates a bargain. So Kendra is available to answer questions. Her phone number is available there. If you all have any questions, I would be happy to take them now. You're welcome to send them through on chat. It may be a bit of a pause before we finish, but I would add a couple of thoughts here at the end. The first is that taking a leap into education is sometimes a bit frightening, and I get that. I've been there for both my master's degree and then again for when I came back to see you for a doctorate. I get that it can be a challenging idea, wondering whether education will fit into one's life, daily schedule and your life plan. For those of us who are married and have a mortgage and a minivan, you may think that it's going to be a challenge, but I would offer this as food for thought. And that is that for those of us exactly in that situation and who have entered the program, they have found that the pace is reasonable, they've found that the tuition is manageable, and they've found that their attendance in the classes has provided an exciting and compelling relief to their day-to-day professional work. One class, in most cases, for those of us taking one class a semester, which many of our students do, that class meets once a week in the evening, and it's designed to fit into the working professional's lifestyle. So I understand the trepidation, but I would offer to you that Kendra and I would be happy to chat with you and answer questions that you have. Secondly, I would have to say that there's a great joy sometimes in excelling past one's contemporaries. We find that many of our alumni find their careers accelerated based on the knowledge and experience that they get in our classrooms. Third, it's a good thing, I believe, to be recognized for the power that we have inside. Too often we find ourselves held back because we don't have the educational background to support a promotion, or we're missing some of the skills that are necessary to be recognized for who we truly are. And if there's one thing I enjoy in our program, it's helping people to spread their wings, so to speak, and to become who they were meant to be and to achieve their potential. And so that's our goal here. That's what we do. We want to help you discover who professionally, who is the best you? What actually can you achieve? And so that's a mandate, if you will, that all of our instructors have established for themselves and that the program has established for itself. So, ladies and gentlemen who are watching by Zoom, that's all I have to say right now. I'd like to ask if you all have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. And so, okay, so no questions right now. I'd like to ask our operator if it might be possible for us to open up Zoom so that our viewers can ask their questions directly rather than sending them through chat. So is that possible? Okay, so each individual can unmute their computer at any time? Okay, very good. So if anyone has any questions, I'll wait here for just a minute or so. And please share any questions that you have. You may have questions on what classes are like, what you might experience in class, what are the faculty really like, what are the work requirements, the study requirements on a weekly basis, and those types of things. And we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have in that regard.
Hello, yeah. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm Josh Gross.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
Good. Go ahead.
So my question was, what kind of, I guess, team requirement in the classes themselves is there as far as working together or opportunities for that, to work as a group or function as such?
Sure. That's a good question. So Josh's question is, if I can repeat this for you, Josh, are there opportunities for team activities within our classes? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Good, Josh. Good question. Thank you. So yes, there are several classes that lend themselves to team effort. There are a few of them that come to mind. Project management, first of all. We're anxious for our students to understand how to work together as a team. The project is normally preparing a project plan, and teams of 4 to 7 are assembled from the enrollment in the class. And they work together to produce a project plan using the knowledge that they've gained throughout the course. Systems engineering is another critical course for our students. Project management meets one of our core requirements. Systems engineering is another one that meets one of our core requirements. Systems engineering also forms teams for activities in its class. Marketing, the marketing class that we run as part of the commercialization area, that's led by Dr. Michael Reedy, and that course also allows for team activity. There are some courses, though, like leadership, leading others, leading oneself, the ethics class, and some of our quality classes that lend themselves more to either a Socratic discussion, and so we use those methods in those classes, or lend themselves more to practical exercise and in class. And so the activities that we have in our classes are designed to support best the topic that we're discussing. I would add one other point, just to add on to the answer there, Josh, and that is that one of the words that we use to describe our classes is compelling. We like for our classes to be exciting. We meet once a week. Each course meets once a week, and so it fits into people's work schedules. But also we like for those few hours that we spend together to be exciting. So I think you would find that they include not only lecture, a bit of lecture, but also class discussion, small group discussion, videos, practical exercise, and other activities that keep the class moving forward. So even after a long day at work, you come to class and you can expect to have an exciting evening. So does that help to answer your question, Josh?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I appreciate the question. Any other questions?
Question that just popped up is, if I'm a distant student, will I have the opportunity to work with class?
Okay, an excellent question. The question that Kendra just relayed to me is, if I'm a distant student, that is, I'm enrolled in classes, but I cannot attend classes in the classroom. So that person would be classified as a distant student. And so before I answer the question about would I have the opportunity to work with in-class students, I would answer that question in this way. The first is that our distant students, many of them attend classes live. That is, they can't be here in person because they're somewhere else in the world or somewhere else in the country. And so it's possible to use the same software program that you're operating with right now, Zoom. And so Zoom allows students to attend class live in the same way that you're attending class right now. And so you have both video and audio capability. You can see the class. The class can see you, and you interact with them live. It's really an excellent way for people who are unable to be here on campus, for people to attend classes. I would offer up as kind of an amusing story that the gentleman that I mentioned, who's employed by the United Nations and currently serving in Sudan, he attends class live once a week. So he signs in at 2 a.m. local time, and we finish up a couple hours later. So I think if I were grading dedication, I would probably give him an A, and I think you would too. But it is possible to participate live. If you're watching by video, because it's impossible for you to attend live via Zoom, your question was, are you able to interact with your students? Yes. So by Zoom, obviously, because you're participating live in class. But if you're a distant student, all of our instructors run a discussion board inside the software that we use to manage our classes. And so the conversations that occur there are similar to a bulletin board. And so you offer thoughts, other people offer thoughts on what you have presented, and then there's a discussion that takes place. And so there are ways to participate through our discussion boards in our classes. Other instructors have opportunity for students to submit videos, and those videoed thoughts are shared in the classroom and discussed by the other students in the class. So two ways there, either by watching videos and through our discussion boards, and also by participating live in the classroom. Lastly, I would say that all of our faculty are always available via email, and all of them are willing to discuss with you any of the topics that we have in class or to answer any questions that you might have on what's been discussed in class. So I hope that answers your question. If not, please send us another message and we'll touch on it. Good question. Thank you. And by the way, if you're wondering about my coffee cup, I have a coffee cup with me all the time because it helps to soften my image a bit, and that helps when I'm in the classroom and I'm not smiling enough. But anyway, if there are no more questions, we're getting ready to shut down. Last chance. Okay, I think we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here this morning. It's been our pleasure. My name again is Dan Moorer. I'll leave this slide up, and I would ask the operator, please, to leave this slide up for a minute for those who want to copy down Kendra's contact information. If you'd like to talk with me more about how this program is run and what your experience is going to be like, if you're a student here, let Kendra know, and we'll set up a time and we'll have a good chat. I hope you enjoyed our time together, and I'll just say have a good day and be safe. Thank you.